Most Americans think of retirement abroad as Portugal, Spain, maybe even Thailand, but they either find them all too expensive or simply too far away. So imagine waking up in Brazil, right? Warm weather, local coffee, like I like my men, strong and dark, beaches, rich culture, sensuality. Now imagine that same life costing dramatically less than what you're paying today in a place like, oh, I don't know, Framingham, Massachusetts. When thinking of places like Framingham, Massachusetts and its pricing, Brazil deserves a serious look for your gay dollar because Brazil gives you something very rare, a great combination of low cost, warm weather, major queer visibility, strong LGBTQ plus legal protections, Afro-Brazilian culture, beaches, city, food, music, accessibility, affordability, visa options, retirement options, all sorts of stuff, and many, 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 many Speedos. Hello, Rainbow people.
I'm David.
And I'm John.
Today on Queer Money, brought to you by Optimize Investment Partners, more on them in a moment, we're continuing our Affordable International Gay City series. And Brazil is a little different from some of the countries we've covered. It isn't Nordic order or Mexican expat familiarity or even Portuguese calm, although Portuguese is the language, which is a reminder, if you are even beginning to think about moving to another country that doesn't speak the language that you were raised with, please learn the language before you move there, at least some of it. The other thing about Brazil is Brazil has what so many of us crave, and that is LGBTQ acceptance. It has marriage equality, great LGBTQ legal protections, a massive, visible queer community, and one of the most vibrant queer cultures in the world. As a matter of fact, Williams Institute's Global Acceptance Index ranks Brazil at a 7.22 out of 10, ranking at number 24 out of the countries in the world for acceptance. Equaldex gave Brazil a 75 out of 100 for its strong legal protections. They rank it number 19 out of 179 countries. Now, if both of those don't seem great to you, keep in mind, they're both better than the United States. Visa-wise, Brazil may also be surprisingly accessible for retirees. So stick around to the end because we're going to be talking more about those visa options. So if your retirement math feels a little bit tight in a normalishly expensive American suburb, Brazil may shift the numbers for you. So let's get down to the numbers here. And for all of you polyglots, we don't have the time to learn Portuguese to pronounce all of the names of these places and organizations correctly. We know we're going to get some of the names wrong. So feel free to correct us in the comments as you always do, but please remember to do it in the same loving manner in which we create these videos.
All right, kicking off our list is Belo Horizonte, or BH as it's also known as, and that's the word I'm going to use since I can't pronounce my Portuguese too easily. BH is for the gay retiree who wants Brazil without the Sao Paulo intensity or beach city chaos. It has food, music, universities, healthcare, creative energy, and a strong local identity. The standout feature here is livability. BH is a major city, but it doesn't feel so overwhelming. You know, it gives you culture, it gives you restaurants, bars, and healthcare access without having to ask you to personally fight 12 million people for a little bit of sidewalk space.
Okay, Sao Paulo.
Minas Gerais scores 93 out of 100 on Equaldex. Minas Gerais is the state in which Belo Horizonte falls. The obvious downside here, though, is that there's no beach. So you get a little bit of affordability with the lack of beach. Safety matters too here as well. And you'll want to research neighborhoods like Savassi, Lourdes, I can't roll my tongue, Lourdes,
yeah.
Funcionarios, and other areas that may offer better access to restaurants, healthcare, and daily life. As for your queer vibe, BH has a real LGBTQ plus scene, especially around Savassi and nearby nightlife areas. But it's not internationally known. It's not like your Rio, it's not like your Sao Paulo. That said, it does have its own bars, clubs, queer-friendly spaces, and a very young creative scene. Some bars you might want to check out that we looked into are Bar de Cassia, D-Duck, and Club Church. Saunas you might want to check out are Sauna Olimpo, as well as Yes, Men's Club. The LGBTQ plus organization you want to check out is Centro de Referencia LGBT. As for your wallet, a 2-bedroom apartment average starts at around $600 a month, but the realistic range is probably more around $455 to $870, depending upon the neighborhood you decide to choose. Compared to Framingham, however, BH can be roughly 60 to 65% cheaper overall, which is definitely a real gay retirement dollar stretcher.
Yeah.
For all these reasons, we're giving BH a queer money retirement rating of 7 out of 10.
And it's probably Olimpo. Let's hope it's not Olimpo.
Olimpo. Oh, Olimpo.
All right, next on our list is Curitiba. Now, Curitiba is a city that many people overlook because everyone is always talking about the big cities. Rio, Sao Paulo, they're talking about the beaches, they're talking about Carnival. And we actually featured Curitiba on our episode a while back about international destinations where you can find rent for under $800 a month. Curitiba delivers because it's greener, calmer, more organized. It's often described as one of Brazil's best run large cities. You get parks, transit, museums, theaters, a lot of modern amenities and modern apartments, healthcare access, and a relatively young creative crowd. The standout feature here is that it is a word that many queer people don't like. It's practical. When it comes to living, it's a practical living space. Curitiba is in the Brazilian state of Paraná, and Paraná scores a 92 out of 100 on Equaldex. So great legal protections here for the queer community. Now, Curitiba isn't your typical tropical beach Brazil. It's cooler when it comes to weather, and it also can be kind of gray, similar to Pennsylvania. If your retirement fantasy involves lots of shirtless men, coconuts, and sunset beaches every single day, Curitiba may feel too practical.
Oh.
So it's low key, and you can find community, but you may have to exert a little bit more effort to actually discover it. When it comes to the queer vibe, it's best for gay retirees who want Brazil with structure, culture, without the chaos. You want affordability without isolation. You want a city that's big enough to have a queer life, but not so big that retirement becomes kind of a logistical job. So some bars that you can check out are Dunkel, View Bar, Spot Bear, which is a bear bar. And then there's Domo 520, which is a sauna in town. There are a couple of organizations we want to call out. Grupo DG Nadaji. I think I pronounced it. Yeah, I think I pronounced it correctly. As well as an organization that goes by the acronym of ABGLT. Now, this is headquartered in Curitiba, and it is the largest LGBTQ network in Latin America. So you do have a lot of access to a lot of community support there. When it comes to your wallet, a 2-bedroom is going to run you around $410 a month, with many options around $335 to $485. Now, keep in mind that all that depends on the community that you're looking for, the amenities that you're looking for, and the neighborhood that you're in. When you compare it to Framingham, Curitiba can be about 65 to 70% cheaper overall than Framingham, Massachusetts. That's the kind of difference that may be able to make some of you say, I'll never be able to retire, and turn that into, wait, I need to learn Portuguese and I need to learn it right now. So for all these reasons, we're giving a Queer Money retirement rating of 8 out of 10 because it does open up South American access for many people who might not necessarily be able to afford it.
Then there's Salvador. Salvador is one of Brazil's most culturally powerful cities. But first, if you want to move abroad and already plan to learn Portuguese or you already know Portuguese, Optimize Investment Partners Portugal Golden Opportunities Fund will give you all of that and more. Optimize built the Portugal Golden Opportunities Fund to grow your money, keep it liquid, and qualify you for Portugal's Golden Visa. It's IRA friendly, it's tax smart, and in 10 years, you could be an EU citizen with world-class healthcare. Hit the link in the video description to start your journey today. If you want Afro-Brazilian culture, music, food, history, beaches, color, rhythm, and a city that doesn't feel like it was designed by a spreadsheet, Salvador is very compelling. The standout feature here is cultural depth. And for Black gay retirees especially, Salvador may offer something many retire abroad destinations simply do not. The possibility of feeling both safer and seen through representation, not just through legal rights.
Yeah, I think one of the things that was interesting when we were researching Salvador is just the number of gay bars or queer bars and the number of images that were shown with a very mixed crowd.
Yeah.
Lots of, like you said, that very strong representation.
Culturally deep. Yeah.
Yes.
The reality, though, is Salvador requires neighborhood research, as much of our many of our lists do. Safety here varies a lot. Areas like Barro, Rio Vermelho, Santo Antonio, and parts of Central and Tourist Corridor may be more practical for newcomers, but you'll probably need some local guidance. Also, healthcare access is available, especially private care, but know where the clinics are, where the hospitals are, and where the pharmacies are, all before you decide to sign a lease and commit to anything long term.
Yeah, that goes with almost any location.
Yeah, pretty much. As for the queer vibe, Salvador's queer vibe is lively, it's musical, it's Afro-Brazilian, and it's very social. It has gay nightlife, mixed venues, drag, saunas, bars, and a strong queer scene. Acceptance may be uneven, but queer life is definitely very real. As for bars you want to check out are Boteca do Paulista, Bar and Caro do Marujo. Did I say that right? For Marujo.
I think so.
The sauna we found that was very curious to us was Club Rios for Masculina. Masculino.
For men.
Men, right. Organizations you want to check out are Grupo Gay de Bahia, or GGB. And then there's Quimbando Dudo, the black gay group in Bahia, which focuses on the intersection of LGBTQ plus rights and Afro-Brazilian culture. As for your wallet, you're looking for at a typical 2-bedroom apartment in Salvador, starting at around $670 a month on average, with the range being about $595 to $745 US. Compared with Framingham, Salvador is roughly about 60 to 65% cheaper overall. So for all these reasons, we're giving it a Queer Money retirement rating of 8 out of 10.
All right, next we have Florianopolis, or Floripa, as many people call it. We are now going to the beaches because Florianopolis is actually an island city in southern Brazil that has beaches, hiking, seafoods, surf culture, nature, and has a much more relaxed lifestyle than many of Brazil's big metro areas. To be honest, some of the pictures kind of give me a little bit of San Francisco vibes, but much warmer. The standout
And
feature,
much cheaper.
Yeah. The standout feature here is lifestyle. Floripa gives you Brazil with that ocean air, outdoor living, and a retirement that can feel a little bit more like a wellness retreat, but with better bodies. It also has a reputation as one of Brazil's most LGBTQ friendly destinations, especially around the beach areas like Praia
Mole.
Praia Mole. Thank you. Reality check here, though, is Floripa isn't your bargain basement Brazil. It is popular. It is a city that's on the beach, right? So it's going to be seasonal. It has these beach cities come with their tourist pricing, their summer surges, and the traffic here can make you feel like your grocery run is a spiritual test. So keep that in mind if you're thinking about an area like this. It may also feel less diverse and less culturally layered than, say, for example, Salvador or Sao Paulo. And of course, choosing the right neighborhood also definitely matters here. Now, the state of Santa Catarina, in which Floripa or Florianopolis is in, gets a 94 out of 100 on index. It's one of the highest rankings that we have seen.
Is there any state in the United States that gets a 94?
I don't know. We should check that out and see what it ranks. I doubt it, right?
Maybe Massachusetts.
So when it comes to the queer vibe here, it is a queer beachy vibe. It's very relaxed. It is very body conscious. It's also visible without being massive like Sao Paulo. It's especially appealing for retirees who want nature. No, not that kind of nature. That was a couple weeks ago. We did a video about that.
Why can't we be naked in Florianopolis?
Right. So it is a place where you're going to find community, but it's also not necessarily the place where you're going to be clubbing until 4 a.m. Right. But there are some bars you should check out. Conca Bar is one of them. Bar Dodeca is another, and Javago Social Club. There are a couple of saunas that hit our list here. Home. I'm not exactly sure how Portuguese would say that in Portuguese. There's also Sauna Termas 2500. We weren't able to necessarily find any specific LGBT organizations for Florianopolis, so if you are familiar with any, please let us know in the comments. When it does come to your wallet here, again, it's a little bit more pricey, right? So your 2-bedroom is going to run you around $760 a month. Still drastically cheaper than
I don't think I've ever had rent that cheap in my entire life.
Right. But it does range anywhere from about $560 to around $1,100 for a 2-bedroom. Of course, location and amenities dependent. When you compare it to Framingham, Floripa can still be around 60 to 65% cheaper overall than Framingham. So it's not the cheapest city on our list, but it certainly has the culture to make up for that. And for this reason, we're giving it a Queer Money retirement rating of 8 out of 10. And then we have our winner.
If you're looking for the big one, here it is.
It's Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo is Brazil's queer mega city. It's massive, it's international, it's cultural, culinary, artistic, energetic. We featured it in our recent episode on where gay retirees are getting it on. And evidently, they are really getting it on.
A lot of sex happening in Sao
Yeah.
Paulo.
So if you want a city that has all the things, the museums, the restaurants, the doctors, the airports, the bookstores, the theater, the nightlife, and enough gays to keep you happy.
How many gay men makes a happy gay?
I don't know, John. How many gay men do you need?
What? No.
So Sao Paulo, I keep on pronouncing it Sao Paulo, but I know Sao Paulo makes sense. Sao Paulo has one of the largest pride celebrations in the world. If you've seen some of these pictures, it is massive and almost to the point where I might feel claustrophobic or scary. It is just the massive queer mecca of the world, and it's not hidden, right? This is not one little tiny area in the city. It is layered all over the city, and that's part of the reason why Equaldex gives it a 93 out of 100. So it's probably one of the higher rankings that we've seen. Again, Sao Paulo is huge. It's huge in every way, which means it can be intense. It's also not the cheapest Brazilian city. For that reason, we want you to be a little bit cautious, but it does earn our top spot simply because of the queer vibe. It is really just off the hook. If you want a city where you can really kind of pick and choose, in Brazil, you want to pick and choose the lifestyle that you want, this is really one where you dictate rather than necessarily the city dictating what kind of lifestyle. It's not the place that you move to if your dream retirement is quiet mornings with the birds, unless those birds are yellow taxis. So keep in mind, safety varies depending on neighborhood, and lifestyle creep is absolutely something that will find you here, so be very cautious. Also, as we've said before, learn Portuguese. Don't even try to go here without learning the language.
I'm just moving there, yeah.
Right? Sao Paulo has the strongest queer infrastructure in Brazil. It has the bars, the clubs, the saunas, the pride, the drag, the activism, chosen family, queer art, community groups, all the different things. Bars you might want to check out are Tunnel, Bofetada, Soda Pop Bar, which is actually a bear bar and leather bar. Yeah, so we've got
Leather
a couple
daddies.
a couple of those on the list here. Also, lots of saunas. Sauna guides list multiple saunas.
Gay guides.
Gay guides. Yeah. Lists multiple saunas and termas here, including the most popular, which are Hotel Chile, Top Man Club, and Wild Termas. And there are many, 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 as Blanche would say, many more. There are some organizations here to check out. LGBT Citizen Center, as well as Prada de Orgulho LP. I think I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, I think you did.
When it comes to your wallet, as we mentioned, it's a big city. This is not going to be your cheapest place. Your 2-bedroom is going to run starting at around $740 a month. But obviously, you can go way higher than that. You probably can find some more practical neighborhoods, right, for a lower cost. But compared to it with Framingham, Sao Paulo can be roughly about 50 to 60% cheaper. Again, depending on neighborhood, depending on safety, depending on lifestyle. And for all these reasons, it gets our top ranking of 9.5 out of 10. It is the place where you can have it all in Brazil.
So Brazil is racially, culturally, politically, economically, and geographically complex. The question to ask yourself here is, which Brazil fits the retirement lifestyle that I actually want?
Which Brazilian fits your retirement lifestyle?
Let us know in the comment what works for you. So is Brazil right for every gay retiree who wants to move abroad? Absolutely not. If you want perfect predictability, spotless bureaucracy, and a country where everything works like a Swiss train schedule,
go to Switzerland.
Right, because Brazil might test your spirits. But if you want warmth, legal residency options, strong LGBTQ plus protections, stronger than many people even realize exist on this globe, lower rents, private health care, and that doesn't financially attack you, and cities where there's actual culture, Brazil definitely deserves a serious look. But before you decide moving there, do these few things first. Research it. Visit it for a long time. Don't just
not
move
for
there.
a weekend, not for a week.
Right.
Spend some time trying to live there.
Don't just move there based on this single video alone. But first, before you do any and all of that, Click the link in the description if you're watching on YouTube, or tap the link in your podcast player to get the Career Money Retire Abroad Planner and Calculator.
And if you're looking for more affordable, gay-friendly cities around the world as to where you can retire early, retire abroad, or retire better, we've curated a whole playlist for you right here with the best places to retire abroad playlist. Because the sooner you know your options, the sooner you can start building a life and a retirement that actually looks and feels like you. And until next time, retire by design.
Not by default.